diplomatic relations, perception is just as critical as protocol, and the slightest misstep can strain years of bilateral goodwill. Following recent development in the Federal Capital Territory FCT Abuja, human rights lawyer Femi Falana SCN has cautioned FCT Minister Wike over plans to shut down 34 embassies and foreign missions over unpaid ground rent. According to Falana, the plan goes against Article 22 of the Vienna Convention and could trigger diplomatic backlash. Okay, the FCT minister has been warned now. But give us an idea of the international law guiding embassies in Nigeria and what is privy to them regarding the situation with the FCT.
The international law is clear that you cannot invade the embassy of a country. And you do that like invading that country. That's why people sometimes take refuge in the embassy of a country, believing that soldiers will not come to arrest them right there. So you can then negotiate that person's release to the people who want to pick him. So many people have used that opportunity in the past. And I do not foresee a situation in which Nyesom Wike or whoever will simply go and shut down the embassy of a country because they are owing ground rent. I want to believe that some of those embassies are not the owners of those buildings. Okay. Yes, they are not the property owners. And to that extent, they should be able to identify the owners of such property and get them to pay the ground rent. I am happy with Wike because the way he is vigorously pursuing this matter of ground rent. Because some of them have been owing this ground rent
for years.
For between 10 to 43 years. And Abuja is where people make a lot of money. Yet, like it is the case across our country, people continue to steal from their own country. They don't want to pay tax. We must make the refusal to pay tax or tax evasion, which is the more common way to describe. We must make it a very serious punishment. In some parts of Europe and America, they are manslaughter. Yes, because it is seen as a big economic crime against the state.
Exactly.
Not like economic sabotage or breaking pipelines, the way we see breaking pipelines here. So that's no reason why you will not pay. You want the FCT administration to be able to bring development to every part of the FCT, including the satellite towns and everywhere, the inner city roads. But they need money. And it's not even a lot of money what we are talking about. It's not a lot of money. Yet, people who are in position to pay are refusing to pay. More than 9,000.
Maybe they forgot.
But I've also heard that even Russia and Turkey that were listed as not having paid, they are denying. They are saying that no, we are paid. So I think that Nyesom Wike and his team need to take their time, find out what really the problem is. And it's not difficult. Could it be that some of these embassies listed have indeed paid, but they are
the money was not,
or maybe money was not remitted or something? Because Russia is saying no, we are paid. We are paid. I don't want anything that will ruin our relationship with some of our best allies. So Falana does not even need to say this for us to know that this is an issue, and a motive issue, an issue that you have to handle with so much tact and wisdom. So it's not about a lawyer quoting law. It doesn't really matter. There are times when you don't need, when common sense is better applied than the letters of the law.
Where common sense is better applied than the letters of the law.
Yes. There are times when you need to follow your mind and not your heart.
Okay.
Because there are distinctions. So in my view, we have to take this matter, we have to address this matter carefully. Mr. President needs to get involved. Is the president, if it happens now, people will be calling the president. They won't call Wike.
And also the foreign affairs minister.
They won't call Wike.
Exactly. So, Nigeria is a signatory to the Vienna Convention. I mean, that protects diplomatic privileges. Now, Section 23 of that convention, it talks about, it exempts foreign embassies from taxes and rent. So the big question is the FCTA, with this action, breaching diplomatic immunity here?
Well, Vicky will answer that question partly. If, for instance, the building you're using is in a place where there is a need for you to pay the ground rent, and indeed you are not even the owner of that building, there could be some discussion over that, or maybe it's not aligning perfectly. So we will need to go and look at that.
So we need to know if they are the real owners of the building. But what if they are the owners
If
of
they
the
are the
building?
owners, then there will be
They are exempted.
some form of exemption. That's the way I understand it. You're not being a lawyer. The thing that is curious to me, Mickey also mentioned it in person, is the fact that when you look at the money involved, it's negligible.
It is.
For instance, for over 20 years, the PDP, for instance, using the PDP, everything comes to 7.6 million. When they meet, one sitting of maybe the neck or the end of the meeting, they will spend over that. So what is
On entertainment alone.
On entertainment. Not to talk of their flight and all the rest. Look at Access Bank. It's only for 34 years, for instance. If the owner of that building, if it's not theirs, and the owner is owning them, then they should pull it out from their rent and pay to the government. Those are things that can be sorted out. Lagos today is what it is because of its idea.
Yes.
Check it before we turn to democracy and check where it is now. And when sometimes I ask myself that question. I moved from Abuja, in Okowa area, to Oba. In Abuja, at the time they started bringing it, it was 2,000 naira. When you pay on time, you pay like 1,700 and something. Now at its peak, it's about 5,000 naira. In Oba, it's about 20. I can't recall it now. But this at least it is not up to 100,000 per year.
And why are people not?
And then you now see some houses, they will come put their stickers on it. You see somebody owing 10 million, 20 million. Meaning that person will raise it up over 15, 20 years. And that's why I say to people, there's something about a lot of Nigerians. We are not willing to pay our bills. And that has also gone into our attitude to loans. Some people go to all these loan apps knowing that from the onset they are not going to repay.
Okay. Yes. Now, to round up this conversation, BK, is the FCTA legally empowered to steal a private property without a court order?
Again, we are not lawyers.
Yes, true.
But if it is built purely from the prism of economic sabotage or an economic crime, then they can take such an action. It's not, EFCC will sometimes effect an arrest and then get the court to allow them to detain. They are not going to wait for the court at all times before they effect an arrest. Because sometimes if you delay, greater damage will be done.
Yeah.
That's the way it is with criminal proceedings. It's the same way it is even with economic sabotage. Delay can sometimes be dangerous. So if it's viewed purely from the prism of economic sabotage or an economic crime, they can move in, take that decision. So the matter of now detaining you for more than 24 hours so that they can prepare you for arraignment, they can then get the court to give them permission to detain you for a certain period of time.
All right.
So people should go and pay their
They should go and
It's
pay.
irresponsible to not pay for that long.
That's the only reason Lagos can stand.
Yes.
Among all states.
Absolutely.
And Lagos can be very aggressive about it. Remember what happened with corn oil in those days? Corn oil some years back. They got aggressive. They went there.
And sealed it.
They didn't say it's owned by a well-known big man. They went there to Lagos. Because they can be aggressive in such matters. That's why Lagos is where it is.
Absolutely.
I really support Wike for this one, but may they investigate first. May they know whether those building now the embassy get. If now embassy get the building, then go pay that land. Where the building they. Then if now our people can rent that embassy to them, now they get the building, they go investigate and where use diplomacy, take do one, may they not do one gra gra. Wike not do this one gra gra. We not saying everything they do gra gra. So may they find out if now our people get those building, they refuse to pay. Why the embassy they pay house rent to them? Make them pay the money when they owe, and they will come fight them. They will come fight them more money when they go pay on top, when they not pay for years. If now the embassy people can't get, if now the embassy people can't get the house, can't get the building, make them make sure say they collect the money, because this place when we did so. This month, when I come here 4 years ago, now €11 now they pay for those. I never paid trash before since I come Europe. Now €11 now they pay for trash every month. I throw away the thing, not throw away the thing. This year now, 4 years later, it don't become €15 for trash. Being when the brick can't give me now, the brick become now €107. Water and trash. So we they pay for you. If I not pay my telephone bill, they go cut her. €107. No let me they stay. Only me they stay house €107. Can you imagine? For just water and trash. So they'll come call Nigeria. I know those people when be saying that they get that house where they live for Nigeria. Charity begins at home. What thing I not go do for abroad now they do it for Nigeria. I support Wike for this one. Make them pay that money. Wike, kudos to you, but collect am with small with conscious, so not do gra. I don't want make Russia come start for our body. But Mona collect the money. I like that style when we bring come out. Anybody when you me say make it pian. All those big men where they carry card, they up and down. Mona pay like me say. Charity begins at home.